I'm Esther Medina, and this is Una Conversación. Born and raised in Toronto, ESCO is a Latino Urbano artist known for blending melodic trap, hip-hop, and dance influences into his Spanglish Urbano sound. In this episode, we talk about how his roots influence his sound, his inspirations, where he sees his career going, and his thoughts on the Latin music industry in Canada today. ESCO!
What's up?
It's your episode!
Cheers!
I'm so excited to have you on Una Conversación. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for being down.
Of course, it's a pleasure.
First of all, let's run it back. I had the pleasure and joy of recently watching you perform at Live Nation's Ones to Watch event. You killed it. Your stage presence is next level. And I think what warms my heart the most is how much of that is not a character. It's it's just naturally you and getting to know you since then and getting to sit with you today. I'm I'm so excited to talk and
yeah, for sure.
I really appreciate your energy and your vibe.
Thank you.
How was that for you?
Oh, it was great. It was great. It was literally a Tuesday evening and the room was pretty decently packed. People were lively and honestly my performing is my favorite part of being an artist, of being a musician. That's really what I do it for, is to perform, to exhibit my art with people and experience it with people. That's my favorite way. So whenever I perform, I feel mindless. I'm not even there, I'm just living the moment and just enjoying myself genuinely. So it was great to do it on a stage like that. That is a platform that is helping to elevate me first off, So big shout out to Ricky Taco, big shout out to Live Nation, big shout out to Martin. Big shout, everyone knows who they are, you know what I'm saying? Anyone who makes it anywhere doesn't do it by themselves. So I always have to give thanks to the people that have helped me get there. And I just want to say that, the show was live. It was super fun. I had a blessed time and I got to meet a lot of great people like you. So I'm glad to be here for sure.
I love that so much. I agree. I feel like you just looked so in your element. And now that I know that that's one of your favorite parts of creating music, when you're in the studio, when you're creating that new song, that next big thing, are you already are you creating it knowing that you may or want to perform that live? How is that process like?
Honestly, no. If I'm being completely honest with you, no. I actually don't think of the live performance. I'll think about that afterwards when I'm hearing the track, when it's finished. I'll think about, that's when I visualize, okay, now how would I sing this to others? You know what I mean? When I'm creating, writing or recording, I'm just there trying to make the track as best as it can be, in that moment. I'm not really thinking about it in, any context outside of that. I feel like when you start to, put finite metrics and goals and objectives on certain things, like we need to make a track for this or that deals with X topic or whatever. Obviously, a lot of great tracks have come out that way when you you laser in and whatever, but just my personal flow, I guess, of creativity kind of just comes from the moment mostly. So I just try to lock in on the moment with my producer, my engineer, whoever's there with me in the moment, and we just try to make the best thing possible. A lot of times it's terrible, and those never get sang in a live audience, you know what I mean? And it's for that reason, because then we can hear it back and we can say, oh, we just spent 3 hours working on garbage, you know what I mean? But then there's some that are bangers, so that's the ones that keep you going, and I most definitely visualize it, in a live context afterwards.
Well, you seem like such a storyteller, even again, your performance, you had props, you had intention, you were having fun with it, and I'm just wondering where did that growth come in your creative journey? Were you always like that, or were you inspired by other artists? We're seeing a lot of that now, with Raul Alejandro's recent tour, Bad Bunny,
really
the
cool.
way he's storytelling. These are shows that are literally, they feel like small musicals.
Yeah.
It's not just the songs.
It's
there's
theatrical.
Yes,
for
correct.
Sure.
So is that something that was always a part of you, or did you slowly start to implement that as you grew?
That's difficult to say because, I would say it's always something that I've aspired for. That's always something that I've visualized, for myself. To do those, for example, not only in a show context, but also in an album context. So for example, I'll just talk about Bad Bunny because I think it's a great example of like the album itself like isn't a movie. You know what I mean? Like from front to back, it's awesome. He showcases, you know, a lot of different storytelling things. He showcases a lot of his versatility. And he preserves a lot of like traditional elements too, which is cool. You know, Puerto Rican identity and all that. But then it is like it perfectly blends in with the tour, with the show. You know what I'm saying? So. Like when you just asked me about how like, oh, when you're in the studio, like does it happen like that? It's like no. I bet if you asked him, he would also say no. You know what I mean? But that's the truth about creating is like you build the story as you go, and like he thought about it in like a bigger way of like La Casita and like this whole shit like that's dope, and like that's something I've always aspired to do, but that's not always something that you can do as an independent with no budget, you know, starting out. I always wanted to do that. I always wanted to make my live performance a focus. And I will say, I want to make a huge shout out to my team, you know, my girl Bella, first and foremost, and of course, like Danny and Ale who helped me, and Des as well, with the performance at Live Nation specifically, because I feel like that was one of the first shows, even though it was, you know, whatever, small room of folks and whatever, and it was a low budget set for what it's worth. I feel like we were able to deliver that storytelling aspect and express that part of me that has always wanted to do that. So while yes, it's been part of like what I've wanted to do, I would say like I'm only starting to really show that and express that. And I've always admired that in artists from the past. Like my background, obviously I make Latin music, Urbano music, but I'm actually like a hip hop head. That's how I grew up. So I was always like big into like albums. Like albums was a big thing for me, concept albums. I was big into like, you know, Kanye West, Mos Def, Big Pun, Immortal Technique, Lauryn Hill. I can name a lot of people, but I think you understand what I'm trying to say. Of like, the whole thing from front to back is a journey. Like it's an experience, and that's the feeling that made me fired up that I wanted to give to others as well. So we're getting there. We're getting there, but it's definitely been part of the vision for as long as I can remember.
I can appreciate so much like the efforts it takes to like have to fund your own passions and your own projects. And what is like the thing that keeps you motivated to continue to fund, like, because I think that you know very well that like it's not always like this.
Yeah.
It's a lot of like actually like this and then like maybe this and then maybe like, oh my God.
No, te tienes que revolcar en la arena un par de veces. Like you gotta eat shit like 3, 4, 5 times, and you gotta be ready to continue to do that. Always. Sorry, I interrupted you, but carry on.
No, you didn't. You did it well. Like, I guess, what is your drive? Like, who instilled that in you?
That's a great question. Actually, I can't really like. I don't know. I think it's a lot of people. Like, I think it's a lot of people. That's a very hard question to answer, to be honest. Part of the drive that comes for me is, like, I think about, like, my life in, like, a bigger sense. Like, you know, I try to, like, sometimes when I have these, like, existential things, like, oh, who are you, like, as an artist and all these things, and, like, why do you do this? How do you keep going? Like, I think about it. I'm like, all right, if you think about it, in the grand scheme of history, of humanity, of people, like, you and I having this conversation is kind of like insignificant. Like it doesn't really mean anything. My life, whatever, the 80 years or odd years, if I'm lucky to experience, you know, that I'm here is minuscule, like in terms of the universe and yada yada yada. I don't want to get too crazy with it, but all I want to say is that
get crazy.
No, all I'm trying to say is that like, so knowing that, and then I zoom back in and I say, what am I gonna do with my life, right? I think about like, what are the things that I don't want to do in my life? And that's like kind of helped me because I think that like if I didn't do this, if I gave up and I didn't do this, I would really regret my life. Wow. And that would be really sad because I only have this much time, as I mentioned, in this huge like thing. So it's like, why do I care so much? Buddy, make it happen. like yo, if you really love it, like just fucking go for it. Like what are you really waiting for? And I've had like several moments where I've come to that realization again and again and again. And it's really tough as an artist, as you say, as you go through the ebbs and flows of your career. Like, you gotta just keep that steadfast determination of what you're doing, essentially. There's a book I read called Atomic Habits. It's like a very popular book. Have you know about this one?
My therapist is gonna hit me in the head
because you haven't read it, right?
I'm supposed to, and I can never get past chapter 1.
Okay, for free. If you live in Toronto, if you have a postal code that starts with the M, you can get a Toronto Public Library card, okay, for free. and you have access to all of their audiobook library. Buddy, don't read the book, just play it. Just press play.
That's what she told
Just press
me.
play. My therapist and my girlfriend were like, yo, you need to read this thing. And then I was like, okay,
I
I'll
saw-
play it at 2.0 speed, fine. Like, you know?
She put you up to this for sure.
And dude, it was really good. So sorry, I just want to talk about the book.
Yeah, let's go.
There's one part where it's like life has problems. Like no matter what, you're gonna like it sucks. You know? Like there's so many problems. Every single day there's a new problem. So there's like, so of the things that you can control, right? There's very little. That's kind of the whole concept of Atomic Habits is like the little things that you can control actually end up creating a huge change in your life, right? That's kind of the premise of the book. But the part that really got me was the part about problems. What I was just mentioning. Everybody has problems, but you can also choose the problems that you want to have. I want my problems to be like, oh, the camera doesn't work, and we forgot the SD card, and the light, and yeah, in the moment you're like, like, you know, but it's like, yo, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, you know what I mean?
God, why do I feel like crying? That's so deep.
Yeah.
That's so crazy. What the hell?
Nah, it's just true. It's just true. Like, I don't know.
I like my problems.
Yes, exactly. Certain problems are a privilege. Yo, I don't know who needs to hear this. Certain problems are a privilege. Yo, there's people that don't have water to drink. Yeah. There's people that don't have clean underwear to put on their ball sack. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of problems that are good to have. So choose the problems that you can choose, like choose them wisely.
Just like that mentality, I feel like even, you know this, like it takes a certain mindset to finally just like take that step to like want to like look within to like actually improve, like to be the best version of yourself. I also feel like when we try to build on those things, it's either like we've been guided that way or maybe we weren't and we now have to do the work. And to that I ask, like, you know, whatever you're comfortable sharing, like like how was like your childhood? Like what was baby ESCO like? Like did your family support your music career when you showed an interest? Like when did that begin?
That's a good question. You know, I think I was like very fortunate, you know, because like, you know, I grew up in Rexdale and everything, which is like very like diverse part of the city. But I can't say that I grew privileged in a lot of aspects in that like we were never hungry. You know what I'm saying? Like there was kids I went to school with that had issues with different things, like alcoholism in their family or, you know, domestic abuse, things like this. Just things that I saw like around the regular. I would say that I lived in like a happy home for what it's worth. You know what I mean? Happy Latino home, hardworking immigrant parents that like wanted to see me succeed and they did the best to set me up for success. And I think they raised me really well. They really had an emphasis not only on academia but also like extracurriculars. You know, like I played soccer growing up my whole life. You know, they always encouraged me to do music and this type of thing. However, I will say like when I decided to want to become an artist, that's when it became a little bit different. You know, because I was in my later teen years, and you know. My dad went to school. My dad became a lawyer. He's actually the first ever Salvadorian lawyer in Canada.
Wow.
Yeah, he was a refugee that came in the 80s for the war, not speaking any English.
It's incredible.
And he accomplished that. So, go look at my dad. He's a G. He's a pioneer for real.
I absolutely will.
But yeah. That being said, like, they were like, "What? You wanna sing, bro?" No, at that time I was rapping. They're like, "You wanna rap, bro? This guy wants to be a hoodlum. This guy wants to be a Rex man." You know what I mean?
Well, that has its own stereotype
of
too,
course,
right?
of course.
From like
but
Salvadorian father.
Exactly. You understand what I'm
Yeah,
saying. You understand
yeah.
what I'm saying. So I don't want to say that like my parents didn't support me, but when it came to my artistic career, like it's taking until essentially like now for them to be like, "Oh shit, like look at him go." Like, hey, like there he goes. Like that's cool. Like whatever. But it's fine. It was really tough for me at that time. Because I ended up going to school. I went to study at Ryerson, and I knew already like a year into my program that like I hated it. But what was good about my time at Ryerson was that because I was part of the media program, I had access to the recording studios for the free ski. Yeah. So I would go there, and I recorded my first 2 projects there.
I love that so much.
Which is jokes when I was supposed to be doing homework and shit. You know what I mean?
Dad.
And my dad hated me for that. He hated that I wasn't applying myself in school because he worked so fucking hard. And who am I to say like, you know what I'm saying? Like you get what I'm trying to say?
100%.
Like como familia de inmigrante, like,
you feel like
you
you
feel like
owe
a-
it to them.
es
because
un
they-
deber que tú tienes because sacrificaron tanto para que nosotros estemos aquí.
Exactly.
And like, and it's a bit of a conflict, you know. I'm glad that I'm at like the age now where like I've been out of school and I've been working on my stuff and things are going well for me now actually, and I can say that like I can go to my dad now and be like, see, like, you happy now? Like, you know what I mean? Like, we did it and whatever. And me and my dad are cool. I don't want like.
No.
I really hope that the vibe of what I'm saying doesn't shed anything poorly on him.
I think every immigrant child
Can understand.
that. And
Perfect.
you know, the thing with your father as well, and like I can relate to this too, is like any time they like kind of scold you for like pursuing something that is different, it's because they care.
Yeah, he was
wants you
worried.
to be good.
He was worried.
That's
He's like,
it.
holy shit, like, este marihuanero va a terminar, like, you know what I mean? Like, what the hell? You know what I'm being so honest. Like, and I get it. And I think about it. I think about, oh, what if I was like him and I left my country at 13 years old, being the oldest of all my siblings, not knowing anything in English, and then I go and sacrifice, bro, I can't, like, there's a long list of shit that he did.
Yeah.
Just for my kid to want to be a fucking, like, hippity hoppity, like, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So I have to also have the maturity and self-awareness to be like, no, eso es jodido. Like, that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah. Like, I also think that I'm happy for you that like you finished school, because it's kind of one of those situations where it's like, well, you can't say I didn't finish.
Yeah,
also,
but
I will just say, like,
yeah.
amazing that your dad is a lawyer, but like that means that you had the bar here,
No,
bro. Like
that's what I'm
crazy.
saying. No, that's what I'm saying.
not
The
everyone-
turnaround is
yeah.
insane. I don't want anyone to think like they are there for me for sure. But it wasn't always like that.
You're from Cuba and El Salvador, and like I will say that like I don't know. I don't want to like put out misinformation, but like my perspective as like a daughter of immigrants that was born here, like I do feel like El Salvador missed out on a lot as a country because they're busy just trying to survive, you know? So like I couldn't tell you that there's like so many reggaetoneros that came out of there. Like,
Sure.
the facts are the facts.
Sure.
But like it brings me a lot of joy to see artists like you know, shout out Baby Boy who's doing his thing, like shout out him. Like
Check out our song together, Otra Vez.
Yes.
It's a banger.
Like seeing that representation means a lot to me, and I'm curious to know how like both your Cuban and Salvadorian side has influenced your music, if any, because I know you're also a big hip hop head. So like, do you
For sure.
find that like where you're from influences your music too?
Hip hop was like my foundation. I always say hip hop was my first love. You know what I mean? Like that's when I was like, whoa, like it really made my mind like expand, and I was like, wow, like let me dive into this, and like then I fell in love with it, and I was like, oh no, like this is what I want to do. You know what I mean? Growing up, that was when I was like 7 when that happened, like 6, 7 years old, maybe even a little bit younger. Before that and throughout, all in my house, all the time, salsa, bachata, merengue, cumbia, boleros, a lot of like música campesina, El Salvador, and from Cuba también, like obviously. We were honestly a music family. Like we actually like my dad fell in love with Cuban music, so there's a lot of Cuban music, a lot of salsa, Silvio Rodriguez, Lo Bamban, Pablo Milanés, Celia Cruz, and then also music as well from Latin America, like not just from my parents, like a lot of Colombian music, tons, Venezuelan music, tons, Panama, Mexico, bro, like I don't know what it is about Latinos, everyone knows like rancheros, man.
You know, Latinos are full of passion. We're emotional. We express ourselves. So
Yeah.
of course the rancheras are gonna be popular, bro. Like if you need to cry, you just go through a breakup. What are you putting on? A ranchera.
Yeah, so I would say like 2 moments where I knew that I wanted to do music was hip hop, number 1, for sure. And like I feel like I missed like the golden era of hip hop, obviously, which was like the 90s, but like I think I had a really good era too, which I think honestly was like the last era.
Wow, yeah.
Because now it's really bad. But
well, I don't know if you've seen, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Go ahead.
But it's interesting that you're saying that, because I saw a statistic that like even Coachella this year is like the lowest percentage we've ever seen in hip hop acts.
Yeah.
And that never hit me till I saw that stat.
Yeah.
And now you're saying this, and I'm like,
yeah,
are you my algorithm?
I think my generation was like genuinely like the last wave, like of like fandom, because I was like obsessed. I'm telling you, with like Drake, Kendrick, Travis Scott, Joey Badass, like people like Flatbush Zombies. Who else can I say that was like modern? And then there are like, you know, people who come and go, like rest in peace, you know, X, whatever, Juice WRLD, stuff like that, Pop Smoke, like guys like that. But there was like some acts that were like good, but it's really not the same. And the music that I came up on listening to, because I am the fourth of 5 siblings.
Wow,
so all of my
big
siblings
family.
are older. All my siblings are older, right?
Are you the baby?
No, I'm the fourth of
sorry,
5.
the fourth of
I'm the
5.
fourth of 5. I'm the second youngest.
Aww.
So I grew up with millennials, essentially.
Yeah.
50 Cent, Eminem, Wu-Tang Clan. All those are huge influences for me. Hip-hop, like I said, is my first love. And then the second moment when I was like, nah, this is what I want to do, is like the times I've gone to see like live salsa bands. There's a few bands that I really like that I've seen here and also back in Cuba. I was like a good trumpet player like in my school, like, and I really like jazz and everything, but I hated that they made us play fucking classical. I'm like, I just want to belt a cumbia on this thing so hard, you know what I mean? And when I watched those like big bands, those like 30-piece bands, like just playing like whatever, I was like, wow, like that looks like magic. Like look at how these people, because I would look at them and then I'd look at the room and I'd be like, they have their room in the palm of their hands. Like they're puppeteering everybody here because they are just simply the vibe. And I was just like, that's me. I'm like, that's what I'm gonna be one day.
I can't imagine how many hours you put in the studio to create the pieces you have out, but I really love it. And I hear the different sounds and the different bodies of work you put out, and I'm just curious to know, is there a genre, like you mentioned salsa, and I'm like, not to say that that's your answer, but is there a specific genre you haven't tried or tapped into yet that you'd like to?
So I'm so glad that you asked this because I'm working on a cumbia right now that is
No, you're not.
Banger. It's a banger. And I just recorded my first salsa like a few weeks ago.
What?
Which is gonna be cool. But the cumbia, all of them are gonna be dope for sure. And I'm gonna try like everything. I don't like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'll do anything. But there's a cumbia that I'm writing that is like, like it's gonna be good. So we go. That's probably gonna come out next year.
Can you dance?
No, not really. I mean, merengue is easy. Cumbia is I find kind of easy, and then bachata, I'm like, I'm alright. I'm passable.
ESCO, your EP, Mismo Destino, came out earlier this year.
Yes.
What was your favorite part? Like, what is your favorite part when putting out an EP? Is it like a different pressure than putting out a single?
My favorite part when it's done. My favorite part when it's done. No, I like when it's done. I like sharing it with people. There's 2 phases I like. One is like the ideation part where I'm like, all right, I have these like 10 tracks that I've made this year or like in the past couple months. Is there something here? Is there a interlying theme? Is there a way that I can organize these? And then sometimes, which was what happened with this one, like there's like 3 or 4. And then it's like, all right, we need a couple more. And I love that. I love that because then I know exactly what it needs. With those last 2, like I know what we're looking for. So it's like, oh, I'm gonna call so-and-so for a feature, or let's do this, or let's try this thing. And like, I love that. I love the visualization of it. The working part of it, I love it too. I love the process, everything, but it's like I said before, it's kind of mindless to me. I'm just there. I'm like, all right, let's go. Boom, boom, boom. No, actually, I lied. My favorite part, I'll tell you my favorite part. It's when I leave the studio and I can listen to what I did on the way home. It's because then I'm like, all right, I know what I did wrong. I know what I'm gonna fix next time I go, but I'm vibing to this like crazy right now. Like it's like so good, you know? So I love that part. And then it's even better when I don't have to make any changes. When I'm just like,
when you just killed.
I'm like, I'm gonna take my shirt off in the car right now. Like it's just like
quick video right
yeah,
there.
like it hits, like, you know. So I had like a release party for my EP, like that was like very special, you know. It was just like intimate, like the people that have been supporting me like from the jump. I love to like show those people that have been there, like I didn't do you wrong. Like you put your hope and faith into something that like que va a rendir, if you get what I'm trying to say. Like it's gonna, because I feel like I owe it to them essentially. Like I feel like I'm paying it back because like I mentioned, like my family's there, like I wouldn't be there if it wasn't for them. So if there's one person I want to be satisfied with the show after, it's like my mom and dad. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I don't really care what anyone else says.
You saying that when you're done a project and listening to it in the car is like one of your favorite things. Now I'm like, I can't wait to watch this when I get home. Like I swear, that's how I feel.
Yeah, it's cool.
Oh my goodness, ESCO. Listen, there's a lot going on in the Canadian Latin music space. You know, it's just been announced that like the Junos will finally have a Latin category for Latin music, which is incredible. You know, we have these activations like the Live Nations wants to watch, and I know RBC does like a music program with people, and so all these great things are happening for Canada.
For sure.
As a Canadian artist who puts out like Urbano music, what is like, and it's a loaded question, so all good if you don't know exactly, but what is your wish for Latin music in Canada?
The thing is, like, it's kind of happening, is the thing. Like, it's just like unity, you know, like a few years back or like things like that. Like I was hearing like rumors and rumblings of like, you know, a lot of people have beef and stuff and whatever. And it's like, I mean, this is a very Toronto thing as well. It's not just a Latino thing. It's a very like crabs in a bucket.
Can you describe that a bit, like that Toronto mentality for like people who are in the space?
It's just crabs in a bucket. So what that means is like, if you were to visually like imagine like crabs inside of a bucket, like they're clawing at this aluminum and just sliding down. You know what I mean? Whichever homie is like crawling up and like actually figuring it out, it's like, oh, I'm gonna yank his ass down because that's where I'm supposed to be. Because I'm supposed to, you know what I mean? And es todo una envidia, todo es un, like jealousy and like, and things, and ego is the biggest problem. Holy man. And like I said, this is what I mentioned to you before of like, when you really zoom out and you think about society, humanity, the universe, like you are insignificant, bruh.
Yeah.
So why do you think this way? You know what I mean?
So you see this changing now?
I see it changing. I see people that didn't talk to each other before talking to each other now. I see Canadian record labels and radio stations being like, oh, we fucked up in not giving you guys a chance 10 years ago. Because now these new kids are coming that are fucking killing it and doing it on their own, by themselves. People that are literally doing it on their own because radio's dying, TV's dying, and now they're like, oh, you know, send me your newest track.
Diversity.
Hey, yo, exactly, diversity. Right now, too, it's about to be Latin Heritage Month. Yo, watch for that. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's because they have to, because they can't ignore us anymore. And that was my wish, for us to become, like, so unified and build each other up to the point that no se puede ignorar. We have to be recognized. And the Junos is an amazing example of that. Because if you look over the history, I would invite all of our viewers to go check it out. Before this category was made in the Junos, all Latin artists would have to submit to the world music category, which whatever music is in English and French is not world music, man. There's much more than that. There's African music, there's Indian music, there's Caribbean music, there's Asian music. I could go all day. World music, to put everyone in that, it's insane. It's insane. And, this is the first year that they do it. This is the first year. So before this year, all Latin artists had to put into the world nominations, right? Now, I invite everyone to go back and look who are the winners of the world music category. In the last 10 years, there's been quite a few Latinos, man. And the world isn't just Latinos, as I just mentioned. Alex Cuba has won 2 times, I believe. And Benny Esguerra has received 2 nominations as well. Those are 2 that I can name off the top of my head that are very recent, the last 5 years. We can talk all day about the Junos, the Grammys, the Oscars, and the history that they have in terms of representation. We can talk about that all day. But what I'm telling you, what I want to make clear is that this was my wish. It's not that they recognize us. It's that they have no choice because we are taking up the space that they don't hold anymore. So it was about time.
This is a huge reason why I started the pod, and it was because I just wanted more of our stories told.
100%.
I wanted to see myself on the screen, even if like it meant I had to do it myself.
Yeah.
You know, and just like even us in this room, right? Like Steven, my cameraman, Murky Productions, like he's Salvadorian and Ecuadorian, and like just to see us in a room working together, like building,
just chopping it up.
Like this is my dream. So like to hear you like say the facts as they are and like remind us of where we're at, like wow, we have come a long way.
So I'm saying
they can't ignore us. So
I can't really wish anything really. I can just hope.
Yeah.
I can just hope that everyone that's right here right now is like, pónganse las pilas, like they say. You know what I mean? Like I hope everyone's doing the right thing. And that's big shout out to everyone who's right now in the new gen. Bro, my label mates, Papi AQ, Nick Souza, big shout out those 2. Big shout out to all my collaborators, Los Playmakers, Analia, Iona Santana, Those are my dogs, man. Dusani, who was just here. Dusani, who was just here, who's the studio that we're in. Dusani and Matt, those two guys. I cracked FL Studio for them when we were 14, and that's how they started making beats.
Oh.
And all of us used to start making music together when we were like 14. That's when it all started.
Yo, the brotherhood is real.
All of that. And
Wow.
we're here again.
Wow.
In the West End. I hope that everyone who's here is right now are the right people that are going to continue to push the culture forward.
Thank you for giving me your time and the space to chop it up with you and like hear about your story and your roots. Like again, like I said earlier, it's just a joy to know that like the exact person I saw on that stage commanding the audience and enjoying himself is the same person that's
I'm
like
so flattered,
on the couch today. Like
Yeah.
that, I think that's so refreshing, and I wish you nothing but success
Thank
on
you.
the rest of your career. I wish this same energy on you for the rest of your career, and that you continue to be surrounded by the best people, because you deserve that. And like, don't stop, because you know this, like the more you do it, the more others can do it too.
Exactly.
Like, it's incredible. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you so much, Esther. I really appreciate, being here. I appreciate what you do. As you're saying, like, it makes me feel also like affirmed and seen that like people like us are just saying fuck it and just doing it. You know what I mean? Because that's what we did.
Yeah.
That's what everyone did. That's what our parents did. You know, you don't ask permission. You ask for forgiveness after.
That part.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm dead.
So I rate it. I rate that you're here, that you're putting on for the young salvadoreñas that are out here watching. Nah, because honestly, like we need to be seen in some way. Even if it's just by our own people, because that's who I want us to see. That's what I want to see.
That part.
Yeah,
That part.
yo.
I like this all. That's it.
Esa cosa no se tiene que decir. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, I appreciate you.
That's gang.
I loved our conversation, and I thought it would be fun. You know, you're from two very hot tropical places, so
Oh, yeah. I don't know why my parents decided to come here. I don't know. I still ask myself that every time around this time of year. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I try not to think about it. But no, like it's been a minute since I pulled out the desert island game, and I just feel like you're two jokes to not do
Yeah.
this
Let's
with.
do it. Let's do it.
Okay, you're on a desert island.
Perfect.
You have a speaker, but you are limited to 3 artists that you can listen to for the rest of your life. Who are you picking?
Okay, first off, Bob Marley. Because, okay, I don't want people to be misled here. Like, the criteria here is, like, is the rest of your life. So it actually doesn't really necessarily mean, like, how much of a favorite artist or how sick you were. It's, like, you got to have body of work and versatility, because this is, like, a long time, right? We'll have Bob, and then we'll have, okay, we need some cumbia. Los Angeles Azules. And then I need hip-hop. I need 3-6 Mafia. Perfect.
Okay, you got your music down. Now,
Yeah.
I'm going to need you to pick 3 food items.
Yeah, okay, so pupusas for sure. Okay, that's one. Then pizza. I really love ceviche. Like, I really want to say ceviche.
That's actually a good choice.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do ceviche.
The last one. 3 sentimental items.
If I have a photo of my cousin who passed away, I'll keep that one. A Cuban flag and a Pokeball. That's it.
You know what's funny to me? When they finally find you on the island, they're gonna think they're discovering Cuba.
They're gonna be like, who listens to Los Angeles Azules and 3-6 Mafia with a Pokeball and a Cuban flag? That's what they're gonna think. Eating pupusas. You're like, yo, who the hell is this guy?
Oh my God, you are surviving the desert island game. Thank you for those gems. I appreciate you so much. And is there any upcoming music event or thing you want to shout out for the rest of the year that people can follow?
Most definitely. So go follow me on my Instagram at @itsescobaby, so you can stay in tune with everything that we have going on. I'm definitely gonna drop one more single before the year's over. Might squeeze in a second one, but we'll see. But what I will say is, like, definitely stay in tune for the Junos and, like, vouch for your boy. Like, please, it's the first time. I would love to be part of, like, this historic moment. Go check out my music. Go see for yourself. If you like it, then vouch for me. Tell your friends, you know, come to the shows, go follow me. That's how you can vouch for me. Post me on your story, like, that type of thing. I just want people to listen to it. If it's not genuine and you don't fuck with me, then I don't really care for it. You know what I'm saying? So, but like I said, it would be an honor to be part of this, like, new generation, this new era of, like, Canadian music, and a huge moment for Latin music in Canada. So stay tuned for that, because I have a lot of tracks that are eligible this year, and hopefully we'll see what happens. And that's gonna be happening next year. And then, yeah, I'm getting into a lot of different experimentation, like with my sound, as I always am. So next year we're gonna be showcasing more of that. So just go tap in with your boy, for sure.
Oh, I'm so excited. All of your information will be in the details below. ESCO, thank you for being on Una Conversación. I cannot wait to watch this episode back.
Awesome.
I
Awesome.
appreciate you.
Thank you, Esther, so much.
Take care, my friend.
You as well.